Okay, so we're doing a best, blandest, worst list for the movies of 2023. This is the blandest list. So movies that weren't bad, movies that weren't good or great, but movies that were just kind of meh, they were there. These are movies. These are movies that exist. If you want something to put on in the background and not necessarily pay attention to, they didn't inspire me, but they also didn't make me violently ill. So yeah, if you have 2 hours to kill, maybe check out some of these movies. These are going to go from most to least interesting in a very relative manner. It really just depends on your vibe, because these movies are about vibes only. That's really all there is to them. But we're starting with A Haunting in Venice. So this one seems really obvious. As a Poirot story, it's not very good. They really kind of butchered his character as a detective. Not sure anyone on the writing team has ever read a book before. The mystery itself was also kind of confused, and the story beats made sense, but they just weren't very well executed. That said, the cinematography was awesome. The vibes created were so good. It was creepy. It was mystery. We had some like cool, weird angle shots. That was fun. It just wasn't... The movie itself was kind of meh, but it was visually very interesting to watch. Moving on to Maybe I Do. This movie came out at the beginning of last year. I liked the movie. I thought the story was great. The casting was fantastic. It was witty. It was funny. And all the individual elements were executed very well. The only real flaw that this movie had was it struggled as an adaptation. So the story was adapted, I can talk, from a stage play, but it didn't actually feel like it was adapted. Like someone trained in live theater, that would have been great to see on stage. But the problem is that if you're adapting something into a different medium, you need to understand what that medium is and then work within those rules and that structure. And the movie just didn't do that, and that bothered me. So it got knocked way down. Moving on to M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin. Now, as far as M. Night movies go, this was his best one in about a decade. The story was great. Dave Bautista gave a truly shockingly incredible performance. In fact, I think that's all me and my husband talked about leaving this movie, was as far as professional wrestlers turned actors go, he is absolutely, hands down, non-negotiably the best one. And he's the only one I look at as a proper actor. John Cena does one thing. The Rock does one thing and he does it badly. Dave Bautista is like an actual actor. Like, that man has range and he's very good, and I think he should keep getting cast and stuff because he's fantastic. And I don't think that people that have only seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy really grasp just how good of an actor he is, but this film really shows that. Really, the only reason this movie is on this list is because I haven't thought about it since I saw it. I wrote a review and it exited my mind. The best movies of this year, I have thought about several times a day since I saw them. To be fair, a lot of the best movies of this year I saw came out towards the end of this year. Okay, next up, I'm so sorry. I know I'm gonna get feedback for this one. Wonka. Look, Chalamet was definitely the right casting choice for Wonka. I thought he was goofy and he got the crazy eyes real good. Some of his line delivery was really just factually like wrong, but it's fine. And visually, it was one of the most beautiful films to watch this year. The staging was great. It felt like a big fantastical musical extravaganza. That was awesome. The music was bad. There was like 3 good songs. The rest of them were not good. And Chalamet, as wonderful of an actor as he is, can't sing. And I'm not sure why the film industry as a whole has moved away from casting people who can sing for their lead actors that can't. But we should revisit that, because from minute 1, the movie starts and Chalamet starts singing, and I went, And Patrick looks at me and goes, "Are you good?" And I'm like, I don't know if I can do 2 hours of this, man. So yeah, anyway, Hollywood, if you're gonna cast an amazing actor who cannot sing, hire someone to sing for them. Anyway, last but not least, we have Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. Was it truly terrible? No. Was it good? Also no. The sheer amount of CGI in that movie was enough to give me a headache. There were so many places where they could have used practical effects and it probably would have looked better, and they just chose not to. The decision to recast Cassie was a wrong one, and the story was just, it was messy. It was trying to do too many things at once. It should have just focused on Janet and Kang, but we had Janet and her history in the quantum realm. We had Kang. We had a father-daughter story. We had the love story. It was doing too much. It should have just been Janet and Kang, and we didn't need everything else also happening.